We've had the industrial era, we've had the technological era. We are now in the relationship slash communication era. It's not that industry doesn't still happen. It's not that we don't use technology. Of course we do. It's that the main thing that is moving things forward these days and moving people in business forward is relationships and communication. I'm going to explain exactly what I mean by that by explaining to you the value of relationships. And the more of them you have and the more favorable relationships you maintain, the better position you put yourself in to be successful, regardless of your skill set, regardless of who you are, and regardless of your industry. Let's talk about it. Number one, the know, like, and trust factors. I know this person, I like this person, I trust this person. The more people who you have who feel this way about you, it becomes infinitely more valuable to have these than it is to actually be good at what you do. This is not me telling you to not be good at what you do. But at the same time, here's what I am telling you or asking you. Have you ever seen someone who wasn't really good at what they did, but because they had the right relationships, they kept getting opportunities and successes and maybe even making money and promotions, etc.? All of you have seen that before, right? On the other hand, have you ever seen someone who was really, really good at what they did, but because they didn't know anybody, they didn't have any good relationships or connections, their goodness kind of got wasted because they couldn't get connected to the right people that could help move that goodness forward? You've seen that before too, right? Exactly. That's why relationships matter. Moving on to point number two. Having solid relationships is more important than it is to simply be skilled. Again, I'm not telling you to not be skilled. What you actually should do is develop your skill. My whole brand and company is literally called Work on Your Game. So I would never tell you to not be good and not be skilled and not be capable. Be as capable as you can be and work on your game and get it to a certain point. Once you get it to that point where it is useful and valuable in the marketplace, then what you need to start doing is making connections. You need to start building relationships so that more people know you, like you, trust you, and therefore they can spread the word about what you're doing to connect you to opportunities that your skill alone would never have connected you to. Which leads us to point number three. How do you actually build these relationships? How do you meet these people? How do you get to know people? I was just recording on someone's podcast yesterday and he was asking me, I don't see the ROI. Was a statement in the form of a question. I don't see the ROI of going to conferences. And one of the things that I said to him, one of the reasons I go to conferences is to be outside. I don't go to the conference to hear the speakers. I already heard everything they have to say. I can read their book if I really want to know what they have to say. I don't go there to listen to the speeches. I go there so I can meet other people who are in the game in that particular space so that I know them and that they know me. Why is that? That's a relationship. Why does that relationship matter? Because people do business with people who they know, like, and trust, not with people who are just good or skilled at what they do. Again, there are a whole bunch of skilled people out here who are nobodies, and there's a whole bunch of people who are not very skilled who are somebody. Why? Because of relationships. You need to learn how to play both games, be good and build relationships at the same time. How do you get started with that? Go to workonyourgameuniversity.com, get into my coaching programs, and let's start putting it to work.